Welcome back. Celebrations have erupted on the streets of Sri Lanka amidst the economic crisis that has stretched on for over 100 days after Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa finally resigned from his post. Gotabaya has been on the run ever since the protests across the island nation intensified, where demonstrators stormed the presidential palace and other government buildings in opposition to the Rajapaksas. Gotabaya resigned after he took a private jet from the Maldives to Singapore. The speaker has said that Parliament will convene after 3 days and the president will be elected in the next 30 days. Sri Lanka's interim president Ranil Wickremesinghe, who had earlier agreed to resign, has now said that he will not back down. So what is the way forward for the island nation that still awaits economic relief? Joining me now is Gamya Vijaydasa. She is a Sri Lankan actor, and we also have Diana Gamage. Diana, thank you so much. So the president has resigned. What legitimacy does the acting president actually have, who continues to be also the prime minister?
Yes, now at this moment, Ranil Wickremesinghe, who was the prime minister as well right now at this present moment, will be swearing in as the acting president tomorrow morning. And then we have to name a prime minister. Once that's done, we're going to have to go in, because this is a constitutional affair and it has to be going through parliament. And we have to have nominations for the next, whoever is interested in the presidency, who's taking up presidency next in the country for the remaining period of the president's, duration of that period. So what happens is now there's going to be nominations given into parliament. And once those nominations are given in, we, all the members of parliament, that's 225 of us, have to actually go in for a vote. And we have to vote in a new president. So that's exactly what's going to happen next. So next week, Parliament will be convening Parliament, hopefully Monday or Tuesday. And we're actually planning on having the vote on the 20th of July. That's next Wednesday. So I think that's when we will actually we'll have to have a permanent president in the country, whoever is elected through parliament, because that's the constitutional way of doing it, and there's no other way around it. So that's what is going to happen in the future.
Let me bring Gamya as well now. Gamya, we have seen that these protests have got a lot of support from people like you, actors, Sri Lankan cricketers. All of them have been standing with these protesters. So after this resignation of Gotabaya Rajapaksa, will you say that the anger which was purely against them, it was against the Rajapaksas, or is this also some kind of distrust against the political class in general?
It's you're spot on, actually. It's both. It's both. But the Rajapaksa tyranny, their stronghold on the Sri Lankan politics is long-standing, and it's just with time, the level of corruption, the level of underhanded dealings and mismanagement of funds, and finally ending up in the complete economic collapse of Sri Lanka, has opened the eyes of everybody, because like in any country, some people are political, some people like to call themselves apolitical, some people are just sort of not involved. But the way it stands now, there's no choice. People across all social stratas are feeling this. So I think that comes back to your first point of why celebrities, people who are privileged, even myself, I consider myself slightly privileged, because I do have access to certain things usually, and I have a reasonable lifestyle. But at this point, I'm not speaking up for myself. I'm speaking up for the people who literally are dying on the streets because of this issue. And I think most people, pretty much you can see every Sri Lankan is united on this front, because we all feel that same pressure. Like, I had to walk today to get to work. Like, there's literally no fuel, so there's no buses, no transport that's accessible. So I mean, where do you go from that?
Okay, Diana, let me give you the final words. We have seen protesters perhaps go home. They have vacated all the places that they had occupied or laid siege on. They have gone back. Is there an understanding now that has been reached between the political class and the protesters that there is some kind of solution in sight with the resignation of Gotabaya?
No, not at all. What has happened is they have actually handed over just the presidential palace and also the Prime Minister's office and the Prime Minister's residence. That's all they have handed over, but they have still occupying the presidential secretariat, where they started the Gota Gugama first.
Yes.
And they are not willing to go back or back off until something is absolutely settled within the country. And obviously, they are looking forward to that someone who's going to be president and prime minister in this country will be public, these people friendly, and also do the right thing, because this country absolutely, it's in an huge economical crisis. We can see the streets. We actually cannot even walk on the streets anymore. Being one of the 225 in this place, and me being a newcomer to Parliament, obviously I haven't been long enough in the Parliament. I know everybody's against the 225, but very unfortunately we are there, and we also have to take like a kind of part of a blame because of the hierarchy who has been taking the bad decisions, mismanagement, because we all saw it coming. But unfortunately, some of them, they didn't want to listen to the backbenchers like us. None of them wanted to listen when we tried to tell them these are things that's going to take place in the future. So because of that, we all have to suffer these consequences. But with me, I stand with the people of Sri Lanka. I stand with these people because I feel what they're going through, because I myself have to go and stand in a queue or send someone of mine to get a cylinder of gas.
All right.
This is no joke.
Absolutely.
People were dying in the queues.
Yes.
We saw it coming.
The economic crisis.
Because the whole world was going through this pandemic.
Yes,
and,
absolutely. I mean, the people have been in this anguish for the longest time. Diana, I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Gamya, thank you so much for joining us. That's all from me. Thanks so much for watching.